the bush. Yeah, we going in the bush. Deep, 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 deep in the bush. To remember all them times in the pond. Catching black crabs. Oh, till the break of dawn. I think I'll say that again. Remember all them times in the pond. Catching black crabs till the break of dawn. Now if I ask you one and one, you don't know what it is. Say if I ask you one and one, you don't know what it is. Oh, oh, let me tell you why. You're mine, 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 no good part. You're mine, 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 no good part. Won't you help me say it like this? You're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine, no good part. One more time. You're mine, you're mine, you're mine, you're mine, no good part. Hey, let the music play. Hey, let's go. Come on, higher level, give them that music. Come on, ha, music, ha, music, ha, music, ha.
Let's go. We're gonna do some KB right now about y'all. KB, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's go. Higher level. Hey.
Let's go. Y'all better be as sweaty as me. Let's go. Come on. 1, 2, 3.
Say, you're looking mighty sexy. The way you shake that funky guy. You're screaming like a banshee. I can hear you all the way from town. You're making me go crazy. The way you shake that funky guy. Come on, Daniel.
Tonight, teacher shortages rocking the Family Islands. We've got the details coming up. Also, with a decrease in VAT, are consumers feeling its impact? And later, bus drivers up in arms. We'll tell you why. Eyewitness News starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Janaea Noel. Thanks so much for joining us. The shortage of teachers on one Family Island is reaching its boiling point tonight, and parents and staff say they've been forced to operate under these dire circumstances for far too long. Our Lyndon Ritchie Jr. has the details in our top story tonight.
Uncertainty, instability, and disarray. That's how parents, faculty, and staff of the Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School in Spanish Wells, Eleuthera are describing the campus environment as the new academic year begins without a principal and with a shortage of teachers. With early education critical to children's development, parents say the situation is disturbing and accuse authorities of showing no urgency.
Honestly, it makes me feel uneasy about everything, especially with him just starting first grade.
My son is in grade 2. There has been no communication as it relates to teachers.
Teachers are said to be, quote, stretched thin, forced to multi-grade, grouping grades 1, 2, and 3 into one classroom, creating overcrowding and limiting individual attention. Pastor Brooks Russell of the Spanish Wells Methodist Church says parents simply want answers. When will teaching postings be filled? Who will lead as principal? And what's the timeline? He insists the priority must be the children's education.
It's always the beginning of a school year. It seems to be always really unorganized. We have to put our personal agendas and political agendas aside.
Another parent echoing similar frustrations, pointing out this is not new. The same issues plagued the school during the last academic year.
It feels like every year, last minute, the ministry is running around trying to place teachers. This can't be done during the summer break when teachers are off for 2 and 3 months.
Insiders telling Eyewitness News that one teacher is expected to be assigned to the school, but claim the move is delayed until a relocation allowance is processed. Even so, parents say one additional teacher is far from enough. Bahamas Union of Teachers president also blasted the government earlier this week as the new academic year started, noting that these issues are not isolated and have been a recurring problem for years.
Pay them the geographical posting allowance so that we can get these teachers in school. And it's so sad that every year we have the same problem.
Eyewitness News reached out to Ministry of Education officials for a comment, but our efforts were unsuccessful. Up to news time. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, the Ministry of Education did respond just moments ago. Its director, Dominic McCartney Russell, said that the leadership of the Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School requested reassignment to New Providence this summer. In response, the ministry will assign a new officer to assume leadership responsibilities. Additionally, 3 personnel are scheduled for deployment to the institution to accommodate the increase in student enrollment. Now, the release also says that they are responding to the needs of the community. It's a story we are continuing to follow tonight. Well, police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of an adult male on Tuesday afternoon. According to reports, shortly before 2:30, officers and emergency medical services responding to the South Beach Canal area. It was there a man was found unresponsive. Investigators say he had been swimming with friends when he experienced difficulty. He was reportedly pulled to shore where CPR was administered, but he showed no signs of life. An autopsy will be conducted to determine the exact cause of death. Police are appealing to anyone with information to contact CID at 502-9991 911 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Well, Bahamas Department of Corrections officials revealing to Eyewitness News today that a trainee correctional officer allegedly caught attempting to smuggle suspected marijuana on the compound. It's not the first time for the year a prison officer has found themselves on the other side of the law. An officer was granted bail earlier this year after he allegedly attempted to smuggle drugs and alcohol into the facility, where a resident of B-Docks was later caught attempting to retrieve those items. Officials say the individual in question in today's alleged drug seizure was arrested. The matter, now in the hands of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, is also expected to go before the tribunal. It's a story we are continuing to follow. A man also remanded to prison after being accused of trying to assault a man with a rock. Prosecutors allege that on August 23rd, 32-year-old Ginaldo Sinclair assaulted Jonathan Emmanuel after Emmanuel reportedly refused to give him a cigarette. Sinclair was charged with attempted murder before Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley, while the victim was treated in hospital for serious injuries. Sinclair is not required to enter a plea, and the matter will proceed to the Supreme Court through a voluntary bill of indictment or a VBI. He must also apply for bail in the higher court. Additionally, Sinclair will remain at the Bahamas Department of Corrections until that VBI is served. That's set for November 27th. While residents in the northern and central Bahamas deal with flash floods today due to this morning's severe weather, the Bahamas Department of Meteorology keeping their eyes on the tropics as a new system has a strong chance of developing in the coming days. This as the hurricane season enters its peak, with forecasters still predicting an above normal season. Director of the Bahamas Department of Meteorology says it's still too early to say if the system could make landfall, but says his team is watching its developments. On to some other news.
System, what it's going to do. Latest thing we know is that we had a 70% chance of development in the next 7 days, and all I can say at this point in time is that we are keeping a close watch on it, and if ever the need come to, we would be issuing something to the Bahamian public immediately. To say exactly what path it would take is way too early for that. But but like I said, we are constantly monitoring that system and see what will become of it.
Well, as the cost of living continues to climb, many Bahamians are asking how much longer can they shoulder the burden. Tonight, the Minister of Economic Affairs is addressing those concerns, laying out the government's strategy to provide relief while defending its record. Our Delano Roker has the details tonight.
Many Bahamians insist the price of food, rent, and utilities is still too high, despite government measures like reducing customs duties and cutting VAT to 5%. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Alcides acknowledges the pain, but reminds residents that while the government can control taxes, it cannot dictate prices set by private suppliers.
What we do not control is things like production and supply chain, and so even in the case of price control, we can mandate how much margin, meaning how much profit the sellers can make on certain items. But if those items are cost the wholesaler even more to buy, so for example, if the prices are higher in the United States, and so they have to buy them at a higher price in the United States and then bring them here and then add on their profit, the prices will go up.
Halkitis says all signs point to a stable economy, so long as there are no major global disruptions. He notes the Bahamas often mirrors the United States, which is currently reporting low inflation rates.
And also, we are encouraged by the stabilization of our own fiscal situation here in the Bahamas, where we've seen an improvement in the finances, improvement in unemployment figures, and so as well inflation. So, barring any severe disruptions, particularly when we talk about oil supplies and the price of oil, which impacts so many things, we expect inflation to remain in the historic range, anywhere from 2.5% for the foreseeable future.
Halkitis admits more needs to be done. He revealed new policies are being drafted to tackle rising rental costs, a pressing issue for thousands of families. The aim, he says, is to bring greater affordability and long-term stability to households.
We all know that, there's a serious situation in terms of escalation in rents, and that is something that we will be addressing. And so when we go back to Parliament, we'll have some ideas on how we can address that. And so we are hopeful as these further reductions filter through, they will begin to see the further reductions.
Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, women have made significant strides in politics, but barriers still exist. Tonight, we take a closer look at the challenges they continue to face, even as more women step forward to lead at the highest levels. Our Laurencia Smith has the details tonight.
For too long, politics has been seen as a man's club, not for the lack of capable women, but because of rooted social perceptions that continue to block their path. House of Assembly Speaker Patricia DeVoe points to control as one of the greatest barriers that she has personally faced since entering the political arena.
Do not like women to take control. And so that has been something that I have been battling from day one, but it's nothing to set back because everybody knows my style.
She's both respected and criticized for her leadership style, often labeled as ruling the lower chambers with an iron fist, and frequently clashing with opposition members who at times accuse her of unfair rulings.
So we have females playing major roles in the development of country. So I believe that when we talk about barriers exist. Yes, they do. But I don't think that barriers are there to stop us from doing and excelling in what we are.
The UN Women's Report that as of January 1st, 2025, women hold just 22.9% of the cabinet posts worldwide, with only 9 countries reaching full gender parity. Here at home, 5 women currently serve in the cabinet. And for the first time in Bahamian history, women are ruling both the House of Assembly and the Senate. But still, the Clerk of the House, David Forbes, acknowledged, yes, we have come a long way since Dame Janet Boswick was first elected to the lower chamber, but more work is needed.
Every election, the number of women contesting the elections are usually increased all the time. But at the end of the day, many of them do not make it into the chambers. But of course, there's also the Senate where women are appointed.
Meanwhile, heading into this election cycle, a number of women are offering themselves for frontline politics. And notwithstanding challenges women face, the president of the Senate, Lachelle Adderley, says there's still hope.
As we see more women take political office, is that growth will be encouraged, it will be continued, it will foster a new generation to want to enter politics.
Throughout the years, we have seen a number of women hold positions within government, but one position has yet to be held by a woman, and that's Prime Minister. So the question is, do you think the Bahamas is ready for a woman to lead the country? Laurencia Smith, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Laurencio. Well, recent discussions reigniting debate over women in politics. Women's rights activist Berdesta Moore has called for some 40% of election candidates to be females, while questions continue about whether the country will ever see its first female prime minister. Speaker of the House Patricia DeVoe has also suggested that men in parliament do not like being controlled by a woman. Eyewitness News turning to social media, posing the question, do you think the country is ready for a female prime minister? 72% of participants voting yes, it's about time. 20% voting no, not really, we're not there yet. While some 8% voting I'm on the fence, I'm not quite sure. Be sure to continue to participate in our daily digital polls. Well, on to some other news tonight. A mother is mourning the loss of her 3 sons 1 year after they all died as a result of a traffic fatality. The news shaking the hearts of the nation and left many sending prayers and also donations and sympathy. Arlington Ritchie Jr. has been following this story. He joins me live in studio tonight with the latest.
Good evening, Janaea. The mother of 3 brothers, all just beginning their lives, tells Eyewitness News the past year has been a roller coaster of emotions. But one thing's for certain, she will never be the same again and is holding on to her faith to learn the new reality.
That leaves me broken, broken. That is my entire bloodline gone. They were the only male children. I have no grandchildren.
Lovan Christie, the mother of Philip McCarran, Philip DiCaprio, and D'Angelo Christie, says September 2nd, 2024 will forever be a day filled with heartache and horror as she lost her 3 sons in a vehicular crash on Samilo Butler Highway. The brothers, all in their 20s, were occupants of a metallic gray Honda Passport when officials say one of the brothers, who was driving the vehicle, lost control and crashed into a tree. 24-year-old Philip McCarran and 23-year-old Philip DiCaprio died on scene. 20-year-old D'Angelo dying a short time later in hospital. The grief-stricken mother tells Eyewitness News for the first time that she had made plans with the boys to visit Nassau and spend family time together as she resides on the island of Andros. However, she never imagined those plans would be dashed by death.
They were supposed to come on the boat to meet with them that Thursday to get a news that your babies are gone. Nobody planning on nobody leaving or no one dying.
Samilo Butler Highway, one of the busiest thoroughfares here in the capital. But for Ms. Christie, she says this road serves as an horrific reminder. Yesterday, she visited the site, placing up a cross with 3 bows in memory of all of her sons. She says ever since, her life has been at a standstill.
Everybody just moving and going on their own business. But that's how life is. I could say to God be the glory, and I hope He continues to keep me blessed.
With her husband passing when her sons were just babies, Christie says she did everything in her power to raise the trio in the right manner and to be outstanding citizens, a road she says they were on.
Planning on, making things work for us. They don't fall through the cracks, and I did that. The enemy stepped in and things went wrong. What happened, I don't know.
Now, Janaea, Ms. Christie says she's continuing to be grateful for the love and support by the wider community as the outpouring of blessings continues, and she gives thanks to those who donated during the time of need. For now, reporting live in studio, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. Back to you at the desk, Janaea.
Thanks so much, Linton. Well, Deputy Prime Minister and Tourism Minister Chester Cooper is defending the stalled Calypso Cove project in Long Island. Ground was broken back in December of 2022. The $250 million cruise port was set to become one of the leading destinations in the region. Developed by Azul Destinations, the project is set to focus on 3 distinct pillars: a resort, saltwater lagoon, and a pier capable of hosting some of the world's largest vessels. Well, Cooper says while not much action has happened yet, he says work remains ongoing.
It's going through the process of environmental approvals. They had to do environmental impact assessment and environmental management plan. That process is continuous. It's progressing. On a recent visit to the Long Island airport to see that development, I believe the director of aviation was able to connect with the developer. They're still keenly interested on how they can get that development going faster.
Well, Cooper says a major concern was the airport, which developers said could not bring sufficient gas to the island. While acknowledging the challenge, Deputy Prime Minister Cooper says the Davis administration is working to address it.
We're fixing the airport in Long Island. We cannot take a full load there. Once the new airport is done, the new runway, we're going to be able to take a full regional jet, ATR 70 passengers there, and maybe even the 737. So things are looking up. When we talk about airports, we're not just talking about the infrastructure, but we're talking about really the improvement in way of life, building capacity to allow there to be more robust business opportunities for locals and for investors. So.
Well, tonight, the Bahamas Unified Bus Drivers Union is accusing government of failing them on several issues, arguing that for far too long, drivers have been left disenfranchised for their services. Union Secretary General Corvell Colebrook sounding the alarm on a number of issues near one of the island's busiest bus stops, chief among them another increase in fares and proper tools for road traffic employees for patrol.
Well, the idea is what we've been asking for, that the bus fare should have been brought up to $2 per person for senior, not for senior, for adults. As I say, cost of living has skyrocketed, fuel and parts. But as I said again, it's like they want us to fail. There are not proper patrols on the road and checks and balances. Like everybody else, they have our HR office. We have road traffic. We have road traffic laws. But they are not, and I am talking about the Ministry of Transportation, providing the right tools that is needed for road traffic to do their job.
Well, adding to his issues, a call for bus stops to be further developed with proper shade for passengers. He also claims the BUBDU has been trying to get in a meeting with Transport Minister Jobeth Colby Davis, but he claims they've been unsuccessful.
Why is it that we cannot have proper shelters and proper bus stops down? Why is it we have to be back and forth with this over and over, having to complain about the government doing their job as it pertains to the busing system? Millions of dollars are paid in taxes from the system. Every day that we go to the gas station for fuel, millions of dollars are paid in fuel taxes, and yet we cannot get anything done. The last time the union has met with the present minister, which would be Jacoby Davis, has been some 15 to 16 months.
If you've got a news tip or if you've seen news in the making, call the Ion News hotline 397-6397. We also invite you to send your letters to the editor for publication on all of our social media platforms, Eyewitness News Bahamas at gmail.com. And if you're watching on our Facebook or YouTube page, share your thoughts about today's stories in the comments section. We want to hear from you. We're just getting started in Eyewitness News tonight, but when we come back, Bahamian business leaders return from a successful mission. We've got the details on that coming up. And later, Andros is back online, BPL restoring power after a fire. We've got more on that right after this break.
Vibes is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the vibes back. At BTC, we understand your vibes because we live it. That's why we are dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You are at the heart of everything we do. Our commitment is to keep your vibes flowing, no matter what.
The last eclipse of our galaxy. Scientists are gathered here today to witness this extraordinary event. Simply marvelous, extraordinary, unforgettable, one of a kind. Oh man, that's amazing.
You can't ignore the craving that makes everything crunch. The new crispy barbecue bacon sandwich with barbecue sauce, cheddar, bacon, crispy onions, and an extra large chicken fillet. KFC, it's finger licking good.
This September is a September to remember at Conrad Bahamas. Get 30% off all windows and doors all month long. We carry Hurricane Impact sliding windows and doors, Hurricane Impact casement windows and doors, as well as PVC windows and doors. Whether you're upgrading for style or preparing for hurricane season, now is the perfect time to save. Visit us today and take advantage of our biggest savings of the season, only at Conrad Bahamas, exclusively at our locations in Freeport, Nassau, Abaco, and Eleuthera. Conrad Bahamas. Dream, design, deliver.
It's the glitziest night in agriculture, where roots run deep and the spotlight shines bright. The Agrarian Awards 2025 takes center stage on Saturday, October 18th at the Atlantis Paradise Island Grand Ballroom. And you need to be there. Presented by the Ministry of Agriculture and Marine Resources and the Agricultural Development Organization. Get your tickets now at adobahamas.org or call 397-7400 for more information. The Agrarian Awards 2025, planting with heart and soil.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles.
Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day.
Log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
This segment of Eyewitness News is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back. Here's a look at your prices at the pump. You're getting the cheapest tonight at Ruvis, $5.48. Shell coming in at $5.49. Esso, $5.56. Welcome back. You're watching Eyewitness News. Well, polling stations across Jamaica officially closing after today's general election. More than 2 million voters were eligible to cast their ballots in a nation of 2.8 million. While voting ran smoothly in most of the areas, some of the more than 7,000 polling stations saw some long lines and delays. The Electoral Office of Jamaica say that the long wait was due to voters showing up without their voters' cards, and as a result, they had to undergo alternate verification procedures, which they say lengthens the process time. Now by 3 p.m., it's reported that the voter turnout stood at just over 30%, according to their office. A Jamaican local daily suggesting that the low numbers may be linked to procedural delays in parts of the island. Meanwhile, observers from the Organization of American States, they raised concern over the temporary suspension of the electronic voter identification system, which they say affected 4 constituencies. The system first being introduced in the 2020 general elections in Jamaica. Across Jamaica's 63 constituencies, 189 candidates were on the ballot, 136 men and some 53 women. Both major parties, the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, led by their Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and the opposition's People National Party, led by Mark Golding, contested every seat. Well, House Speaker Patricia DeVoe says her experience has been a different story thanks to the parliamentary service bill that was introduced. Her comments coming after former House Speaker Housen Moutri sharply criticized Parliament for being too closely tied to the executive branch. To address those concerns, the Davis administration had created an independent parliamentary service commission separating Parliament from both the executive and the civil service. Under the bill, the Senate and House of Assembly can now generate revenue and accept grants managed entirely by the Commission. It's giving Parliament more independence than it had before.
Right now we are a newly minted Parliament, and we are celebrating our independence. And so I sit as chairman, along with members that sit at this table of the newly appointed Parliamentary Commission. We are independent and autonomous, so I don't look at that as being an issue for us right now.
Following a successful business mission organized by the Zhengzhou College of Science and Technology in collaboration with the Embassy of the People's Republic of China, members of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce and Employers Confederation Consumer Protection Commission, and also the Bahamas Trade Commission, other officials, they're back at home, energized by the possibilities of a deeper collaboration with China. Adelano Roker has the details tonight.
The visit, organized by China's Ministry of Commerce, is part of a strategic seminar series that facilitated high-level discussions on cultural tourism, technological innovation, and bilateral trade. Participants, including the Trade Commission, BCCEC, and CPC, examined how China's successful practices could be adopted to enhance the unique island-based resources of the Bahamas. Among the stakeholders was Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission, Barry Griffin, who emphasized that the initiative is a tangible step towards strengthening diplomatic and economic ties.
Our officials and private sector partners were able to learn firsthand how China has supported the development and management of a small business ecosystem. We learned everything about how they deal with customs, how they deal with financing, how they deal with digital e-commerce, and things of that nature. And so it was a great experience for all of the participants. And the idea is that they will bring back that knowledge, information, and all of the contacts that were made there to better our business development here in the Bahamas.
Vice Chairman of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, Don Williams, highlighting the emphasis on technological transformation.
Between Beijing and Wenzhou, the delegation visited various warehouses, factories, tech, and AI companies to obtain an inside look and gain insight.
For consumers, the seminar served as further evidence that a shift toward a digital landscape could positively impact the archipelago, says Executive Chairman of the Consumer Protection Commission, Randy Roll.
Chinese consumers no longer use cash, so most of it is cashless. I believe that something similar will bode well for Bahamian consumers. And as we look for ways to continue to safeguard Bahamian consumers, there were a lot of good takeaways. And so I'm excited to, again, continue to build on relationships that we would have met whilst there, but also seek opportunities for Bahamians as we continue to advance.
The seminar in Zhangzhou marked a critical step in redefining how the Bahamas approaches tourism, trade, and technology. With momentum building, stakeholders say the real work begins now, turning insight into action. Delana Roker, Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Delano. Well, power being fully restored on the island of Andros. This following a fire on Sunday at the power plant. Officials say power was restored to customers from Nicholstown to Bamsey at 8 a.m. yesterday, then from Bamsey to Fresh Creek at 8:55, and from Fresh Creek to Bering Point at 9:15. MP for the area, Leon Lundy, speaking to the quick response of the BPL team.
Definitely yesterday there was a lot of uproar, of course. There was a lot of tension because they were uncertain. But one thing I could say, BPL made the communication a lot more lighter and easier for them to access. So they felt real good that they were getting updates almost on the hour, every hour. They knew when the current was about to turn on in certain areas. They knew what still would have been out. So they were able to plan, and that was the best thing for us, getting communication from BPL. And again, we're real thankful to BPL and their staff for what they did. Moving forward, I can tell you we're already in that sense of feeling like it's getting back to normal already with what has already been done. So what is going to be added will just bring a better sense of us getting back to normal right away, a lot faster. And like I said, we're real grateful for what was done in this record amount of time.
Minister of Energy and Transport JoBeth Colby Davis also on the ground assessing the damage and level of impact, noting that the government fully intends to see its energy reform through despite the setbacks.
While the government was planning for our new energy reform, where we're having LNG added to our fuel mix on the Family Islands, not just New Providence, but we're also coupling that with solar panel and battery storage, we had already planned to do some other forward movement at our BPL plants, and we had already secured some generation to come to the island within a matter of weeks. However, with the fire, we are sourcing rental units, which we have already sourced, and they will be here by this evening, weather permitting, or in the morning, and that will assist us in continuing to provide the power, the demand that is from the island, but also to ensure we give that reliability that our consumers deserve and need.
Memorandum of Understanding being signed on Tuesday at the Centerville House between the Gaming Board of the Bahamas and the Financial Intelligence Unit. Under the Ministry of Finance, they will continue to strengthen the relationship between both stakeholders, according to officials. Emmerich Seymour, director of the FIU, explaining that this signing allows the unit to properly relay information of financial concern involving gaming board operators if it were to arise, allowing the board to act swiftly.
Memorandum of Understanding
is just our quest to intensify and solidify our relationship as together with the gaming board and other stakeholders, industry stakeholders, that we show solidarity in the overall fight against financial crime, not only in the Bahamas, but in the entire global arena. We are that agency of government that is responsible for receiving, analyzing, and of course disseminating information that may or may not be associated with elements of crime and criminality, financial crime and criminality. Information that we receive may be related to the gaming board. And so when we see that, then of course that information is passed on to the gaming board from the Bahamas, for their particular action.
According to the Secretary of the Gaming Board of the Bahamas, Tira Ramming, the signing comes at the right time as the board is preparing to undergo a mandatory assessment by the Caribbean Financial Action Task Force.
The Bahamas is going into a mutual evaluation next in October of 2026, and so the FIU is being instrumental in helping us to prepare for it. We think that it's a great opportunity for the jurisdiction to work closely with all of the regulators.
So to come in Eyewitness News, a group pushing for affordable transportation for the disabled community. We've got the details on that coming up, but first, a check on tonight's weather forecast.
You work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
Stop, master. But it's hot today, boy. Boy. You see that? Mm-hmm. That's snowing. I can cool off, man.
Where you going? Get back here. Don't go in that people.
I get inside there.
I can cook whatever you want tonight. Where you going?
You gonna do what?
I can cook whatever tonight.
I forget you can't cook.
Step up the heat and enter Skypole. Expert installation, cool comfort, and reliable service. Brought to you by Discount AC and Supplies. Your one-stop shop for top-tier AC units.
Sting Junkanoo Group is celebrating 25 years of music, and you're invited to the greatest show ever. Counting down the years, performing hit song after hit song. VVS, Colin McDonald, KB, Dyson Knight and D-Mac. Saturday, November 1st at the Farm Marshall Road, 8 p.m. until. Tickets can be purchased online at www.bahamaseattickets.com for your skybox or to be a food vendor. Call 424-6433, 477-0191. Sponsored by ZNS, Island Luck TV, The Farm, Gatorade Today & Co. Limited, Chris Minute and Associates.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate builds with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Welcome back. In an effort to make transportation more accessible and affordable for the differently abled community, Disability Empowerment Outreach says they're launching a number of initiatives to raise funds for a transportation program and a documentary with the goal of highlighting the hurdles what persons a part of their community face to get their day-to-day errands completed. Director of the Disability Empowerment Outreach Group, Kendrick Roll, explaining the need for a program and just how pricey it can get. He's pleading with corporate Bahamas tonight to lend a helping hand.
Give us with donations would help us to purchase a fleet of vehicles so that we are able to assist our persons with disabilities to be able to access, whether it be education, social, or non-emergency medical transportation at the lowest cost possible that we will make available to them. This is a costly undertaking. All right, accessible vehicles that we would need in particular start used at a 2018, 2019 vehicle landed is somewhere around $24,000. If we want a more later model vehicle with all the accessible features, well, first of all, that the price I quoted as getting a vehicle out of Japan. If we want a more up-to-date vehicle with the features coming just out of Florida, could run you into a $53,000, $54,000. Check through the Disability Empowerment Outreach Group. We have a banking account at the Commonwealth Bank.
As for the documentary Driving Home the Importance of Accessible Transportation, Chief Executive Officer of Encore Media Group, Vince McDonald, sharing what viewers should expect as the film is expected to be available on some local listings within the coming days.
Highlighting the need for accessible ride for those persons with disability. And so on September 9th, we're going to premiere a short documentary that really highlights coming directly from the disability community, some of their challenges, some of their concerns. You're going to hear some of the stories that they face on a daily basis. You're going to even see in real time some of the challenges that they face on a daily basis. And then you're also going to hear a little bit more in-depth on the program as to what it is that this program offers and how you as the Bahamian public can get involved in supporting this program financially.
Well, be sure to support the cause. Coming up in Eyewitness News tonight, our Laurencia Smith has your latest check on sports. Good evening, Laurencia.
Good evening, Janaea. Jazz Chisholm Jr. writing another chapter in his historic MLB career. I'll tell you about the milestone straight ahead in sports.
Make every moment unforgettable with Shop Smart. From colorful floaties and water guns to light vests that keep fun safe, we've got everything you need to dive into the season. Planning a beach picnic? We've got the cutest sets and coolest bubbles to bring the vibes. And don't forget our trendy swimwear for all ages. Summer starts here, only at Shop Smart. Your Miracle, number 122 Market Street.
The Royal Bahamas Police Force is one of the most unique professions because it allows you to work in almost every field.
For the police, I fly the unmanned aerial vehicles. Because I always had an interest in forensic science.
The most interesting area that I would have been exposed to would have been the fire prevention section. It's so much you can pursue.
I get to serve my community and my people every day.
log on to our webpage. There's information about the recruitment process and all of our various departments.
It's me, Wednesday Addams. Your life just took a dark turn. I regret to inform you that I have devised the meal of misfortune with Wendy's. It's pure torture for your taste buds, with 4 nightmarish dips of dread. Don't waste my time asking which ones you'll get. You must surrender to your fate. Enjoy the anguish.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Eyewitness Sports is brought to you by 103.5 The Beat.
Welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Sports. I'm Lauren C. Smith. Thanks for joining us. Kicking things off tonight in sports, we're on the baseball diamond with Bahamian slugger Jazz Chisholm Jr. as he made history on Tuesday night. The New York Yankees star launched a towering home run to the right field, marking not only his 27th homer for the season, but also his 500 career hit, a milestone for the history books. Chisholm Jr. did not stop there. Moments after his 500 hit, he collected his 501 hit with a single in the top of the 4th inning and later added his 28th home run for the season, powering the Yankees to a 7-1 win over the Houston Astros in the opening game of a key 3-game series. Chisholm Jr. spoke with the media after the game about the historic run.
Until I got back in, I don't be knowing what's going on sometimes on the career numbers because I'd be so focused on what's going on in the season. So I didn't know until I got in, but after I heard it, I was pretty hyped up, you know. The guys that we're probably going to play in the playoffs, and this is what we got to do. We got to go out there and dominate early, often, and consistently.
On Tuesday's opener, he finished 3-4 at the plate with 3 RBIs, 2 scores, 2 home runs, and a single while starting at second base. Well, congratulations to Jazz from all of us here at Eyewitness Sports. In other news from sports, progress is being made on the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. This news coming from Sports Minister Mario Boleg. The stadium has been under renovation since November 2023, with the first phase completed in time for the World Athletics Relay in May of 2024. The last major sporting event over at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium was the Bahamas Bowl back in January of 2025. The $36 million repairs are being fully funded by the Chinese government, which originally gifted the stadium to the Bahamas in 2011.
The March next year to be completed. We have no events that it's impacting right now, not be any international events that will be coming to our shores that is impacting. So we're quite pleased with the work that has been done, and we just hope that when it's finished, we have an A-Class 1 stadium that will even attract much more international events here at the Bahamas.
And finally, in sports, we have some exciting news from the softball diamond. The Player Alliance and Don't Blink organization teamed up with the Bahamas Athletic Pride to give a boost to baseball and softball here in the country. The nonprofit recently donated much-needed softball equipment and supplies supporting the development of the sport at the local level. BAP Chief Executive Officer Deshae Stubb called the donation a blessing, praising the organization for the investment in the community. Don't Blink, widely recognized for its home run derby in Paradise, has recently expanded its focus to softball through the Queens of Paradise series, which feature professional teams from the United States. Stubbs added that the equipment will directly benefit the girls in the BAP's program, providing them with tools they need to train effectively and play safely and continue to develop their skills. Well, that's what's making sports at this hour. I'm Lauren C. Smith. Stay tuned for more news on the other side of the break.
We're learning, even playing, we're having lots of fun. We're working with each other until the day is done. It's with great joy and warm hearts that we welcome you to our school today. We are proud to share our school with you, a place where curiosity grows, friendship blossoms, and every child is encouraged to shine.
That was the enthusiastic and warm welcome that first graders of Stephen Dillard Primary School gave to Education Minister Gladys Hannah Martin and to members of her executive team during their official visit to the school. The team offered the student body powerful words of encouragement.
Continue to ask questions, to be curious. Embrace every challenge and know that we believe in you. As we move forward, let us continue to strengthen the bonds between schools, families, and our community.
I want you boys and girls who are here to take responsibility for this school, how it's viewed in the public's eye, how you manage yourselves, how you prepare yourselves, how you perform. Because who you are and what you are is what this school is. And we're seeing what this school is. And we're learning who you are and what you are. And we know that you are among the great citizens of this nation.
And the visit ended with nothing less than a brilliant burst of Bahamian culture. That'll do it for Ed Talk.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast. Your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Wise Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
You're watching Eyewitness News.
Well, that wraps up news this Wednesday, but coming up and beyond the headlines with Shanique Miller, she's taken another look at Jamaica's elections that took place today. Of course, the polls are closed. They are tallying up those final results, and also a look at what this could mean for our elections coming up within the next year. That's coming up and beyond the headlines. It starts right after this. That does it for us here at Eyewitness News. It's certainly been a pleasure having you in our company tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Janae Nawal saying good night and be safe, everyone.
Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eatin' Well.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Well has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eatin' Well.
help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
Has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay eatin' well.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
tonight, it's one of the more powerful nations in the CARICOM community. Tonight, Jamaica decides which party, the JLP or the PNP, will lead the country moving forward. We speak with a Bahamian in Jamaica tonight on what's been happening across Jamaica. Also tonight, jitney drivers say the government has failed them. We hear from them and understand what it is that they are talking about. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's good to have you along this evening. More than 2 million voters eligible to cast their ballots in a nation of 2.8 million people. While voting ran smoothly in most areas, we're speaking of Jamaica, of course, some of the more than 7,000 polling stations saw long lines and delays. The Electoral Office of Jamaica says that the long lines were due to voters showing up without their voter's card. As a result, they had to undergo alternative verification procedures, which lengthens the process time. By 3 o'clock Jamaican time, voter turnout stood at just over 30%, according to the Electoral Office. A Jamaican local daily suggests that the low numbers may be linked to procedural delays in parts of the country. Meanwhile, observers from the Organization of American States raised concerns over the temporary suspension of the Electronic Voter Identification System, or EVIS, which affected 4 constituencies. The system was just introduced in the 2020 general election. Across Jamaica's 63 constituencies, 189 candidates were on the ballots. They were 136 men and 53 women. Both major parties, the ruling Jamaica Labour Party, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, and the opposition People's National Party, led by Mark Golding, contested all of the seats. Well, this evening, as you saw right here on the show last evening, we had some youth representatives, official representatives from both the JLP and the PNP joining us. But this evening, we're going to be joined by a Bahamian in Jamaica and get an idea of just through his eyes and through his vantage point exactly how these elections were. Good evening to you, Darren Turnquest. It's great to have you here. And how are you?
Good evening, Shanique, and I hope that my internet is working well enough that you could get this transmission properly. But greetings from Kingston, Jamaica. This has been an exciting time. I mean, as a Bahamian living in Jamaica, to see the political machinery over the last, 7 months has been absolutely fantastic. But also, not only just the political machinery, but to see the similarity in terms of the discussions around some of the political topics, education, looking at small and medium businesses, looking at the idea of minimum wage, looking at the concepts of, some of the utilities and how exactly we look for, opportunities for development. And I think when I look at the machinery, I look at the discussions, what I find most impressive as a Bahamian is looking at the national debates, seeing 3 ministers sitting on the platform, really discussing the issues and defending the agenda, and of course the opposition sitting and discussing their political aspirations, their agenda, their manifesto, their covenant of governance, whatever you would want to term that, and being able to give the audience an opportunity to not only read what is intended, as it relates to their political aspirations, but to discuss further or to go in depth with some of the questions, to see the engagement, as you would have seen yesterday, with some of the college students or university students and the way they engage those students. I see the work with these political parties, not seeing young people as a matter of tokenology, but getting them actively involved in the political process. I would say my feeling driving the streets has been, this has been extremely peaceful. It's been one with excitement. You look at the songs and pure vibes. Vibes. It's like every election party that's happening, but with intellectual discussions that's also happening at the same time.
Yes, I too was very impressed in watching from here in the Bahamas, seeing it happen. And then, of course, just as you were saying and pointed out, to see the similarities, to see the various issues that are similar to both countries, it lets you know that, listen, we are one people. With many times just identical issues that we want addressed. For example, housing, the economy, crime, all of these things. And I've heard from the Prime Minister to, of course, the leader of the opposition address them. The Prime Minister touting his record and what he's been able to accomplish and get done. The opposition promising further what they will do to further address the issues. Last evening on the show, I had 2 of the youth representatives from both political organizations on, and them also talking about opportunities obviously to help them be able to realize their own dream in their country, etc. Or were you surprised that maybe some of the you mentioned some similarities, but some of the very pointed areas that you almost thought for a moment, if you close your eyes, you were in the Bahamas?
Well, yeah, I mean, given the fact that I've been in another space before, having served in government and attended Commonwealth meetings and CARICOM meetings, you recognize that as small island development states, and, you know, Jamaica is, when you think about small, it is relative when we talk about small, but as small island development states, hearing the issues is one thing when you sit at the table and listen to the discussions, but living in a country and seeing those issues play out, you wonder, are there greater opportunities for collaboration for us to really have a think tank, right? And really utilize the international bodies to say how collectively as a region we can come together and solve these issues.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about crime, you talk about education, you talk about healthcare. All of these are challenges that we see in every small island development state within our region, and that is within a CARICOM region or a Commonwealth region. And so definitely it's exciting to see, but it tells me that there's more opportunity across our governments for discussions, for partnerships, for think tanks. And also, I mean, you know, this is at my heart, being a former director of youth in the country, to see young people take the charge of becoming the think tank and organizing ideas that can be, you know, executed in our respective countries, and not just within our country, but a cross section of young people who've seen these experiences from a different vantage point, who might have seen the solution or who might have seen the struggle, coming together and providing guidance to governments.
Now, let's talk about the way Jamaicans campaign. Have you seen any similarities or differences there?
Well, definitely, you know, in the Bahamas, you always see the buses picking up people and carrying people to the polling stations. I think there is so many similarities in the way it is done. But what I can say is the level of organization, the high drama, of the rallies, the experience of just paraphernalia, that in of itself mimics almost like a carnival experience. If you look at both parties, both the PNP and the JLP, and you look at just the song choices or the songs that's been written for their respective campaigns, they sing true in terms of building that feeling of emotion, that feeling of political allegiance and loyalty, but also the feeling of fun, right?
Yes.
And so you see side green versus side orange, you know, sparring out with each other in the streets in a peaceful way, mind you. I would say that, you know, Jamaica, you see it on a bigger scale. It's on a larger scale, which requires individuals to be a whole lot more organized. So take our family islands and connect them together without a mass of water between them. And that would be kind of the experience you would have in terms of pulling people from rural communities into polling stations, getting them there, getting the underserved persons, getting the elderly in place, because every vote counts, right? It's not about the value of a vote or of the socioeconomic background of the individual. This is where in countries, every individual is equal. No matter where they're from, or no matter how much money they have in their bank account. And so it is important that you see the person who has been placed on that voter registration, and not only see them for who they are, but see them at the polling station.
Absolutely. Now listen, the polls have been closed there just over an hour, just over 2 hours our time, but just over an hour your time there. Any indication, any results as yet?
So, you know, I have a party going on at my house, and
I know you are.
From all sides. Yeah. You might hear some of the noise on the side. And I think when you look at what's being reported, you see 3 boxes out of 146 boxes that's been counted. We definitely know that is too soon to be able to determine anything. But of course, anybody who knows about elections, I've gone through elections all my life, from, you know, working along with my father, and then moving to being on the administrative ends of elections as a presiding officer. Those boxes have to reach a certain point. And of course, if you know as a returning officer, or not a returning officer, as a polling agent, what polling station you can depend on versus what you cannot depend on, I believe that each one of those parties can tell by now from the returns or from ticking off that box to see who showed up with a margin of error, exactly what they're looking at or how close they are. But I think for the persons who are just sitting here watching on the television, we probably have another 3 hours or so, or maybe 2 hours, before you can actually get really uncomfortable or really comfortable, depending on which side you represent.
Right, absolutely. Well, listen, thank you so much. Enjoy enjoy your party, your watch party. We over here in the Bahamas are just as excited about this election. I tell you, I want to.
We have our own election coming, right?
We absolutely do, and I wanted to say to you, social media was really capitalized by both organizations. It really played a role this election, would you say? Or what are they saying around you?
And I wouldn't even say Instagram so much. I know you and I have been talking back and forth in the week, and I've been sending you TikToks, right? But it seems to me TikTok has taken a new energy doing this Jamaica election. Yes. We see everything happening left, right, and center via TikTok. It's almost as if you can watch what's happening in communities live and direct. So this is exciting to watch.
It absolutely is. Thank you so much, Darren Turnquest, live from Jamaica this evening. I tell you, you all have brought us in because we last night and again this evening. Thank you so much. And listen, hey, have great fun with your watch party, and we will continue to kind of stay in touch and see exactly where it's trending, where the vote is trending. Thank you very much for joining me this evening.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. Listen, don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we're going to get into some more discussions. There's a lot we have to talk about this evening. For example, you heard me say the bus drivers are saying that the government has failed them. What do they mean by that? We're just getting started. This is Beyond the Headlines. Backward after this.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast, your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
This year marks a milestone. The OWN Foundation is celebrating 10 years of impact, innovation, and inspiration. Join us for OWN Talks, September 12th at the Atlantis Resort, Paradise Island at 7 p.m. for a transformative experience under the theme, Activate. Taking the stage are world-renowned leaders and visionaries. Sebastian Bastian, visionary entrepreneur, philanthropist, and CEO of Island Luck and Weiss Technology Group. Barbara Corcoran, legendary real estate mogul, entrepreneur, investor, and star of Shark Tank. Vusi Tembekwayo, global business strategist, venture capitalist, and one of Africa's most influential thought leaders. Be part of this unforgettable evening as the OWN Foundation celebrates a decade of purpose and progress. And together, we activate the future.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America is now City of Hope, creating one of the leading cancer care and research networks from coast to coast, providing more of what you need. More locations means more care closer to home. More specialists means more expertise. More research means more breakthroughs. More advancements means more treatment options. And more options means more hope. Call now to get more of the care you need.
Crack the code and win $1 million. Crack the code and win $1 million.
7 numbers, $1 million. Every 3 days, a number is revealed. Act fast. Your million is waiting.
Crack that code, win $1 million clear.
Crack the code before the last lock clicks shut. Get ready to join the winner's circle only at islandluck.com.
Crack the code and win $1 million.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all continuing to join us. Going right into the Hot Topics panel discussion. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, our contributors Leslie Miller and Michael Turnquest. Good evening to both of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique, and good evening, Bahamas.
Gentlemen, it's wonderful seeing you both. Of course, you saw at the top of tonight's show, really the region's eyes are on Jamaica and its election there. I mean, just very quickly, you all know a lot of facts about Jamaica, the stats about how Jamaicans vote, and they don't necessarily turn out in droves to vote. We saw, of course, last evening we had 2 official representatives from both political organizations on. This evening we had a Bahamian in Jamaica on, Darren Turnquest, having his own watch party and giving some analysis and just his experience in this election season. Your thoughts on what a win either way is likely to indicate?
You know, Shanique, it's I think the whole, Darren, he's been sending me a lot of videos as relates over the past couple of months in terms of what's been happening and inspiring in Jamaica, and there's a lot of excitement. I think this election for both, I think for the Caribbean as a whole, is a very interesting one to watch, because at the end of the day, we've seen the last election, from the U.S. and Caribbean countries right on down, in terms of the trend that, changing every 5 years, and this one here, to see that if the current ruling party it was to be re-elected, it would then, say a lot, shine, take a turn. It's, I'm sure the Bahamas and other, Barbados, which would have just had their own, but a lot of other Caribbean countries and places will be watching, thinking,
right,
what are we to expect in our upcoming general election? And even you look at the topics that are being discussed. We've seen the Prime Minister talk about livable wage and increasing minimum wage. Same thing that you see the governing party inside Jamaica is also touching. They're touching kind of on similar topics. It's almost, you hear Darren speak about, coming together in one room as a think tank. You ask yourself, did they actually sit in a room and discuss, topics that are affecting certain Caribbean countries or their own countries within, and saying, this might be the way in terms of campaigning going forward for, any upcoming general election, because this is what people might be wanting to listen or hear based on livable wage, minimum wage, things like crime and all these other things that are affecting our countries, just economic boosts for small to medium-sized businesses. So, it's like I said, it's very interesting that, to see what's going to happen there tonight, and I think it kind of paves the road for what we might see going forward in our upcoming election, or what we might need, or any party, what they might need to do in order to gain that advantage, whether, being ahead or behind.
What is interesting too, the fact that I was surprised myself as a Bahamian, that most Jamaicans over the last 20 years, less than 50% of them went to the polls. They have a tendency to stay home. And so what the governing party has done over the last few months is continue to contain their base. They know that they have a base, but they can keep the base in shape. Many people are not going to vote, they don't go to the polls. And the Prime Minister has done a wonderful job in going out, probably daily, getting his base ready for the election. At 8 o'clock when the polls close, we should see what the results are. But so far, it's been a quiet election. You didn't hear about much violence. And Jamaica is a place that normally have violence during elections. the last two elections have been very calm, collective, so that's a good sign that people are now coming more mature and stop all the riots and the killings, you know?
You know,
So
one
that's
thing
a good thing.
I would say the current prime minister in Jamaica, you've seen over the past year, 2 years, you know, he's really utilized social media. I mean, and everything that he's done, you know, walking the streets on a daily basis,
Very
you know,
savvy, you know?
I was, you know, maybe I might have watched one of his feeds some time ago, but every morning I get up and I get on Facebook or Instagram, and there's something there about him, you know, in the streets, whether he's attending a fete or just wherever he's at, just walking the streets, meeting the people. You know, he was very visible on social media,
very visible, yes.
right, and utilizing the platforms. And I know Shanique had said at the start of the show that it seems as though, you know, Instagram or social media might be a big play a big role in this.
I think
you know.
everybody is getting sort of indicators from how Trump won. And you understand now that social media is the tool needed to help, whether it's a candidate or a political organization, to get ahead or to get their message out there strongly. And so not dismissing a platform like this one, but it works in hand with it. And when you pick up from here, you go on social media just to document, just continuing. I tell you, it was quite impressive just watching the social media play out in it.
One other thing that was very impressive is watching the two leaders, you know, debate each other. I think the last debate, you know, it was a tug of war in terms of both speaking on, you know, who were the, you know, corruption and things, you know, who was Jamaican, who was not Jamaican, and then who was done, whether it be a deal or who owns companies that owns, you know, or bought certain things, you know.
Consistency in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very similar. You know?
very similar.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and so again, this show isn't just something that pays attention to national issues, but also regional and obviously international issues as well. And I want our viewers to get used to that as we invite others to also be a part of the discussion and the conversations that are hosted here on the show. Meanwhile, though, as the cost of living continues to climb, many Bahamians are asking how much longer should they shoulder the burden. Tonight, Minister of Economic Affairs is addressing those concerns, laying out the government's strategy to provide relief while defending the government's record. We get this story from Delano Roca.
Many Bahamians insist the price of food, rent, and utilities is still too high, despite government measures like reducing customs duties and cutting VAT to 5%. Minister of Economic Affairs Michael Alcides acknowledges the pain, but reminds residents that while the government can control taxes, it cannot dictate prices set by private suppliers.
What we do not control is things like production and supply chain, and so even in the case of price control, we can mandate how much margin, meaning how much profit the sellers can make on certain items. But if those items cost the wholesaler even more to buy, so for example, if the prices are higher in the United States, and so they have to buy them at a higher price in the United States and then bring them here and then add on their profit, the prices will go up.
Alcides says all signs point to a stable economy, so long as there are no major global disruptions. He notes the Bahamas often mirrors the United States, which is currently reporting low inflation rates.
And also, we are encouraged by the stabilization of our own fiscal situation here in the Bahamas, where we've seen an improvement in the finances, improvement in unemployment figures, and so as well inflation. So, barring any severe disruptions, particularly when we talk about oil supplies and the price of oil, which impacts so many things, we expect inflation to remain in the historic range, anywhere from 2.5% for the foreseeable future.
Alcides admits more needs to be done. He revealed new policies are being drafted to tackle rising rental costs, a pressing issue for thousands of families. The aim, he says, is to bring greater affordability and long-term stability to households.
We all know that, there's a serious situation in terms of escalation in rents, and that is something that we will be addressing. And so when we go back to Parliament, we'll have some ideas on how we can address that. And so we are hopeful as these further reductions filter through, they will begin to see the further reductions.
Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, it's a topic certainly many Bahamians continue to want addressed and pay attention to, Leslie and Michael, and that is the cost of living. That is inflation. Inflation that has been an issue now, I mean, just since maybe even before COVID, but certainly since the pandemic, it is really just been through the roof, and it's not been much easing since then. Your thoughts on how the government is trying to walk through this?
You know, Shanika, I've always said, in terms of any governing party, in terms of when you're governing a nation, you know, there's a lot of things there's certain things that's out of your control, and I think the minister is correct. There's, you know, private, I would say entities, is very hard for you to tell them what they can charge or what things are being sold in the markups. You know, but certain things governments do have control on.
Especially the cost of electricity.
Yeah, you know, cost of electricity, things of that sort. You know, the taxes or the duties that on certain goods, in terms of whether it be relief on certain items. Of course, VAT is something that, you know, I think the government tried to relieve certain items. I think there's still some work that can be done there. But also from a government standpoint, you know, there are certain things I always say. We have a government that continues, you know, spending is one thing, but always cutting back. You can't spend, tax. But at the end of the day, your expenditure, not cutting back on you have to cut back on spending at some point. Because at the end of the day, it's still the taxpayers' money that is basically fueling these government, I would say, government corporations, things of that sort. You know, we always spoke on BPL. I said over and over, this particular deal might not be the best deal for us, because at the end of the day, those that are heavily invested, they want to see some type of return on their investments, and they want to see it sooner rather than later. At the end of the day, we're not going to see a big decrease in our electricity bills. You know, we heard the CEO mentioned some time ago in terms of over the summer months, you know, they have to now move from Clifton and go start using the generators that I think that they rent, which uses regular diesel. Yeah. Which increases our price. But at the end of the day, you know, Bahamians don't want to hear that at this particular point in time, especially when we've already gone through a restructuring of BPL in terms of selling off this, that, the next. We talk about bringing LNG, you know, to Clifton Pier, talk about solar, talk about new generators that was installed, I think, about 2 years ago down at Clifton. You know, you can't tell this is the solution, but at the end of the day, 6 months later, the Bahamian people are still feeling the burden, the pain, especially going back to school. Over the past 2 months, our electricity bills have been the highest that they've been for months. I mean, almost a year. And now people are trying to get their kids back in school, that being purchasing school goods, uniforms, and then plus how to try to keep the light on
the fees, eh?
Yeah. So, you know, but some people it's burdensome. They're going to feel it going in, like a cloud is on top of them going into this particular, you know, school year. And some kids, you know, hopefully thank for some of the, I would say, the businesses, you know, assisting with school supplies and backpacks and things of that sort. It relieves some of the burden, but at the end of the day, you know, it's still up to the government, especially from BPL, to step up to the plate and deliver what they said they would give the people, which is low electricity bills. And people can't wait another 2 years to see this.
I'd say it's a really difficult burden that has been placed on the back of the average ordinary Bahamian since COVID. I'm convinced that price has gone up almost 30% in most areas.
More than that.
But when you look at the cost of rental units, and it bothers me, now they go into these communities, Stapleton is right there. A regular apartment, 2 bedroom used to cost $900 to $1,300 or $1,100. It's now $2,000. And there's no justification for it. That's what gets me. But people are saying, when you have discussions with them, that even for the Airbnb, because people are going to keep their places better than renting to Bahamians, who has a tendency to destroy your place before they leave because they're mad that they're paying rent. The high cost of electricity is an onerous bill on the backs of every Bahamian. We were told it was going to be much lower than it is, but that's an argument that we can have all summer. People are saying only because you use more, Bahamians do not accept that. I mean, I don't use more. I use one air conditioner a night, around about 9, 10 o'clock, till about 6 in the morning when I get up. My bill has increased. I mean, everybody's bill has increased. And this thing about, you know, because you're using more and whatever the hell it is, people just aren't buying it.
Yeah, but I think even that's been proven to be, I guess, somewhat a myth, because at the end of the day, they just said it's because it's not really because we're using more. It's because now you've switched. You've
have to bring on
equipment.
You have to bring on
that's
other engines and other generators, Leslie. You have to bring them on stream, and the fuel is more.
Yeah, what you got to realize, and I said it to the lady who was here, the chairman. 3 years ago, 4 years ago, an engine burning down at Clifton, 32 megawatts of power. That's a massive engine. Was never repaired. The insurance company came from London. They said it was unfixable. It's going to cost some $18 million. It's still sitting there on the ground. Why not would have been cheaper? Because if you got Clifton running at optimum capacity, your rate is going to go down by 30 to 40%. Because they're using heavy fuel oil.
Yeah, there's no reason to go to Blue Hill.
Blue Hill use
diesel, regular diesel.
This is expensive as hell.
$5.75 a gallon.
And that's part, and not only that, you're wrecking electricity. Now, when this LNG come into play, I don't want to get in that situation because I've been there 20 years ago, when we're getting it for free. Okay? And of course, the big boys who were part of the inner circle decided that wasn't going to happen. That was tailor-made for this select group of payments. And that's exactly what happened. We should see now how the cost is going to go, and they can come with some other foolishness about what the price is for LNG in the United States, on the Eastern Seaboard, in Florida, etc. They will have an excuse to rip the public off. It's the public that always carry the burden. The poor man always carry the burden for the rich.
What I always came to thought, why wasn't LNG good 20 years ago? And why is it good today? And it's going through the same seabed.
The lady who used to kill me every damn week of my life, what's her name? The little damn crazy woman. you haven't heard from us since. It's just that people in this country have so much sway and say, a select group, all right, that they will get rid of those who are trying to assist the majority to make sure that the minority is in full control. And I believe with all my heart that after this whole thing is settled, we're going to see exactly who the owners are of BPL, who the owners are of all those side. They got about 6 or 10 side companies. Who the hell own those companies? We can be surprised and shocked that the same damn crew that stopped it 20 years ago is the same crew now who are going to get the benefits financially. And maybe we're going to be the same ones suffering again and again and again. But that's the story for another day.
It's unfortunate.
We will continue to watch that because it's quite interesting to watch, and it's vexing. I want to add here, though, just for context, that electricity is going up everywhere. I mean, whether it's Arkansas, Florida, all of it. But what's happening too, and they too are also at the same time undergoing, I don't know if they call it an energy reform, but upgrades and modernization to the power grid. And so while it's going up, it's nowhere near what we are paying. But just to kind of put that there so that we can understand what's happening elsewhere, and obviously maybe have just an understanding of what's happening here.
I could articulate that for you in 5 seconds. The margins on fuel, imported fuels in the Caribbean, Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad, all of them, is an average between 5 to 15 cents on a gallon of fuel. In the Bahamas, they get as much as over $1 when combined. But $1.50, that's the problem. The matter as Minister of Trade and Industry, I said, listen, we will do the same thing what the other Caribbean countries do. But you don't know who the hell was buying the companies. Yeah. The same people who sit in the room with are the same ones negotiating behind the table. And they cut your legs off from under you. Wow. And that's what happened. Wow. Not knowing that, why are you letting us suffer when we could do better? They don't want you to do better.
But for years and years, we've seen it done around the world. There's so much clean alternative measures in terms of whether it be solar or wind. We have currents that run through our harbors and different places.
Yes, yeah. It's not going to happen until they want it to happen. And they ain't going to want it to happen until they finish getting rid of what they have. And there's a better option. And that option is going to go to them. It's just a cartel.
Yeah, if you look at it over the years from BPL, whereas though when homes wanted, I would say consumers wanted to go to the solar route, it was almost illegal. It was illegal.
BEC refused to take the energy in the day.
But even if you have an off-grid system, they still said you should not be off the grid. You need to be connected.
You still have to be connected.
And my thing is, if you can't service me, but you still want me to be connected to you.
Yes.
So it has to
That's
be
what
some type
monopolies
of
do.
a monopoly that
monopolies do.
wants you to say, hey, at the end of the day, it's me or nothing.
Yeah.
And the sad part is when people are still saddled with over $500 million in debt that is being cut by BPL. Over $500 million. That's going to be on the backs of the average, ordinary Bahamian. It's going to pay that bill. These people you see coming with all these new companies, they don't have a damn thing to do with that bill.
I mean,
that
the
is
thing
your
is-
bill. You keep it. We don't want nothing to do. And that's why they can be profitable. Because they have no damn bills.
And we have thousands of crown land throughout the Bahamas that can be used for solar fields, that can be used for wind farms, and all kind of things.
It will only happen when they want it to happen.
Yeah. It's,
They call in the shots. Remember that.
That there
It's
is a vexing
unfortunate.
thing to think about as we go to the break. When we come back, we're going to go to Spanish Wells, Eleuthera, where parents, even some teachers, are quite angry over a teacher shortage. We'll tell you about that when we come back right after this break. Stay close.
Fly fishing for me is kind of a way of life. My father was one of the pioneers that started the fly fishing industry.
I grew up around the industry, but it was mostly spin fishing until the invention of the fly that changed the whole fly fishing industry as we know it today.
Well, fly fishing, in my opinion, is an art form that subscribes to artificially inducing a fish to take a lure.
It's fishing, but it's more like hunting than anything else.
So it is hunting, one aspect of it is, and the second of it is creating a lure that you are imitating that is of the environment.
You're actually stimulating the bite by them visually seeing the actual lure that you're sending to them.
Crazy Charlie is the fly that revolutionized, as we know, the saltwater fly fishing industry. It was invented by my father. He recalls seeing the bonefish chasing a little bait fish called a minnow. He took a couple chicken feathers and some bead eyes of a military tag, and that was the beginning of the advancement of saltwater fly fishing industry on the flats as we know it today. The importance of that fly allow you to be able to fish for bonefish in various depths of water.
Captain Rupert Lead, my dad, who's also a pioneer in the industry, his fly was called the gotcha fly, and it emulates two things: the minnows, which is a small bait fish, and also a shrimp pattern. See, there's so many legends that I'm now standing on. Percy Dowell, Ivan Nemo, who would have passed, Raymond Mackey, you've got Sidney Nemore, Carl Moxie. These guys were filled with knowledge. They were self-imposed scientists. They saw these fish act in a certain way, and they know how to target them on specific tides. I feel extremely proud to carry the baton on, knowing that I can actually teach other youngsters how to carry the mantra, and they themselves can pass it on to other generations.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Well, not only do we want to welcome you as a part of our family of sponsors, we certainly, of course, have a special election rate that's happening right now. And so if you want to have your party, your political organization featured, come in on a live interview, sponsor segments, or perhaps purchase an entire show, that's possible this election season. Certainly reach out to the sales and marketing division here at Eyewitness News, and they will help you come up with a wonderful package that'll help get your message out there, your mandate, and of course help the Bahamian people get to know you a little bit better as well. And so check out our election packages. We certainly look forward to welcoming you on. And of course, you businesses out there, get on board quick, because this would be the spot as well to get noticed as we go more into this election season. And so once again, give the sales and marketing team a call. Well, the shortage of teachers on one family island is reaching, or has reached by now, a boiling point. And parents and staff say they've been forced to operate under dire situations and circumstances for too long. We get the story from Linton Ritchie Jr., and then we come back and talk about it.
Uncertainty, instability, and disarray. That's how parents, faculty, and staff of the Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School in Spanish Wells, Eleuthera are describing the campus environment as the new academic year begins without a principal and with a shortage of teachers. With early education critical to children's development, parents say the situation is disturbing and accuse authorities of showing no urgency.
Honestly, it makes me feel uneasy about everything, especially with him just starting first grade.
My son is in grade 2. There has been no communication as it relates to teachers.
Teachers are said to be, quote, stretched thin, forced to multi-grade, grouping grades 1, 2, and 3 into one classroom, creating overcrowding and limiting individual attention. Pastor Brooks Russell of the Spanish Wells Methodist Church says parents simply want answers. When will teaching postings be filled? Who will lead as principal? And what's the timeline? He insists the priority must be the children's education.
It's always the beginning of a school year. It seems to be always really unorganized. We have to put our personal agendas and political agendas aside.
Another parent echoing similar frustrations, pointing out this is not new. The same issues plagued the school during the last academic year.
It feels like every year, last minute, the ministry is running around trying to place teachers. This can't be done during the summer break when teachers are off for 2 and 3 months.
Insiders telling Eyewitness News that one teacher is expected to be assigned to the school, but claim the move is delayed until a relocation allowance is processed. Even so, parents say one additional teacher is far from enough. Bahamas Union of Teachers president also blasted the government earlier this week as the new academic year started, noting that these issues are not isolated and have been a recurring problem for years.
Pay them the geographical posting allowance so that we can get these teachers in school. And it's so sad that every year we have the same problem.
Eyewitness News reached out to Ministry of Education officials for comment, but our efforts were unsuccessful up to news time. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Well, the Ministry of Education and Director of Education, Dominique McCartney Russell, spoke with Eyewitness News just before we went on air for news. Russell says the leadership of Samuel Guy Pinder All-Age School requested a reassignment to New Providence this summer. In response, the ministry will assign a new officer to assume leadership responsibility, she says. Additionally, she also says 3 teachers are scheduled for deployment to the Samuel Guy All-Age School to accommodate the increase in student enrollment. And she says the ministry is responding to the needs of the island and of students there on Spanish Wells, Eleuthera. Leslie and Michael, those parents are vexed, and rightly so. They want to ensure that at the beginning of a school year, everything starts off evenly and in the best possible way so that their kids can be able to just go and focus on what needs to be focused on, which is the lesson.
You know, Shanique, we've said over and over, you know, the education is the backbone of our country. We've said over and over. I mean, my mother was a teacher for some 40 plus years at Uriah McPhee, teaching grade 1. You know, teachers in the Bahamas, especially government school teachers, don't make much. You know, we talk about the cost of living, which has continued to go up, but you have salaries that are not moving with it. Yep. You have school systems that are somewhat broken as it relates to whether it be, kids coming in and causing commotion, wanting to fight teachers, parents wanting to come.
Same thing.
And it's almost become like a little small mini war zone in the system. That's not attractive anymore to, I would say, young individuals, even some of the older ones who we have teachers that are exiting the system and finding other career paths to go. I have a young cousin who would have left the system and went to become, her passion was also to be a chef. And went and sought other things because it was too stressful in the system, especially making such small money when things could be less of a burden doing something else. There's a lot of issues that needs to be addressed. One being, we need teachers to put real time into a lot of these students that are falling by the wayside. We see a generation after generation we've lost. Whether it be, just if parents aren't taking time with them, at least they spend a lot of time within, 8 o'clock in the morning until 3 in the afternoon, where teachers then would put time into them. But it's very difficult for teachers even now to do their job because of parents getting involved and basically not parenting at home and then wanting to come to the school and intervene in terms of how their son or daughter is treated. Parents can't continue to do this. If you can't put discipline in your child at home, then of course you would expect that somebody in the system, the school system, would want to be there to try fill in the gap.
They don't want that.
Yeah, but they don't want that. So this is becoming a vexing issue for teachers.
It is, because if you all will remember, the end of last semester, vice principal in Grand Bahama was in there tidying up, before they actually closed school. And there she thought a parent came to collect a report card a day later and was attacked by a male.
Shanique, if a teacher was guaranteed that, hey, you're going to send me the Spanish Wells, because I'm pretty sure Spanish Wells are much calmer. The kids are very well, they're disciplined. There's a family structure in most of these small islands. If you can guarantee that they'll be there for the rest of their career and they can start a life there, then a lot of teachers would go ahead and they would do it. But then you have the system, the way that it's set up now, some teachers may spend 2 years in Spanish Wells and then be reassigned to some other island, which then causes, hey, I'm not coming, and a lot of them aren't coming to New Providence, which a lot of them, they want them to start there.
Yeah.
But nobody wants, in some of our schools, I'm sad to say it, but it's a little war zone where as though teachers are scared to be in the system within New Providence.
Teaching is such a noble profession. And you still have very many good teachers around. But speaking of teachers, you would have a teacher that worked for the last 35 years of their life. Master's degree, teaching kids in all grades. The salary's never going to go above $35,000.
No, not at a master's level though.
And
and after retirement of 35 years, you're not going to take home more than $1,500 a month. They're just not going to do it anymore. And then there's parents, you got really children having children, eh? So you'll have a 22-year-old mother coming to school with an 8-year-old or 10-year-old child want to know why you have to spank my child. Because he used a curse word, or because he slapped someone or hit someone. They want to fight the teacher. And teachers get fed up with it. The ministry was begging former teachers to come back, and they said 7 out of 10 said they wouldn't do it. First of all, the salaries got increased, eh?
Yeah.
There must be an increase. That's the bread, that's the backbone of every country on God's earth, is education.
Yeah.
The police likewise, who protect our lives every day. You have to give them a salary that's commensurate with the output that they give us on a daily basis and how important it is to the country as a whole. We have to restructure and reformulate to make these people appreciated, that they feel appreciated.
And the problem is when you have that central, I call it that's the spine of our nation. That's the membrane of everything that happens. And when you have those individuals that leave that system and branch off to other organizations like the police force, the defense force, what do you expect to happen? You accept those organizations will start to crumble eventually because the product that's coming out of those institutions are not up to standard and they are not representing us the way that it should be. And then their professionalism is not there because, of course, the membrane or the spine was never well put together before sending them out to do whatever jobs they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
It's just an effect that's just going to continue. It's a domino effect that's just going to continue if we don't fix the problem, which is the teachers first take care of them, and then of course we need to fix the system.
Yeah.
It's a tall order.
It's a lot of work to do.
I'll tell you the truth. It is a lot of work
But
to do.
if we don't fix it,
a lot.
you're not going to have a country left.
Well, listen, gentlemen, tonight the Bus Unified Drivers Union is accusing the government of failing them on several issues, arguing that for far too long, drivers have been left to feel disenfranchised for their services. The jitney drivers, yes, sir. Union Secretary General Corvell Colbrook sounding the alarm on a number of issues near one of the island's busiest bus stops. Chief among them, another fare increase and proper tools for road traffic employees for patrol.
Well, the fare is what we've been asking for, that the bus fare should have been brought up to $2 per person for senior, not for senior, for adults. As I say, cost of living has skyrocketed, fuel and parts. But as I said again, it's like they want us to fail. There are not proper patrols on the road and checks and balances. Like everybody else, they have our HR office. We have road traffic. We have road traffic laws. But they are not, and I am talking about the Ministry of Transportation, providing the right tools that is needed for road traffic to do their job. Why is it that we cannot have proper shelters and proper bus stops down? Why is it we have to be back and forth with this over and over, having to complain about the government doing their job as it pertains to the busing system? Millions of dollars are paid in taxes from the system. Every day that we go to the gas station for fuel, millions of dollars are paid in fuel taxes, and yet we cannot get anything done. The last time the union has met with the present minister, which would be Jacoby Davis, has been some 15 to 16 months.
Michael, stand by. Gentlemen, your thoughts on what this the Secretary General of the Bus Drivers Union is saying tonight? That listen, from the respect and road traffic rules, from properly developed bus stops. That provide proper shades for passengers. I tell you, I can count where I see them. I do remember there was a time when there were many bus stops, sheltered ones.
Yeah, not too many.
But they have been destroyed by people who just go and break them down, or vehicles running into them. And your thoughts about just all that the jitney drivers are now saying?
Shanique, he had some valid points in terms of there being proper bus stops, but then at the end of the day, you need to have responsible bus drivers who will actually stop to those stops.
Okay.
And this is where the issue continues to come in, because we still continue to have irresponsible drivers, bus drivers that is, speeding up and down, overtaking. It's like they're having some type of a race to who can get to the next. We still need to have some type of organization within that particular, I would say, industry, whether it be speed limits, whether it be loud music not playing, with them hanging up around schools, picking up, waiting for whoever it is that they're waiting on. There's so much other things that needs to be addressed in this industry. I understand that the government, there are some infrastructural issues that needs to be addressed, where they can pull to the side and be out of the way of the traffic. But even when we did have those things,
they didn't give
they didn't give two, in terms of following the rules. And to this day, they're still not following the rules.
What are your thoughts about you both about a call for a fare increase?
I agree with the good gentleman that it's probably time for the fares to go up. $1 really can't get you too far.
I think it's now $1.50.
$1.50, but when you look at the high costs of petroleum, it's really been a strain on them. But there's another problem. How many times are they going to disgrace us with having tourists on their bus and have these treacherous fights all over this country? At the hotels, on Bay Street. You have seen them, all of us have seen them. We've seen the guy hit each other with cutlass over repeatedly, the loud music, the profanity. I agree with him again that because on Prince Charles Drive, there are no bus stops. The bus stop is not a gas stations. You have to pull into the gas station to stop. I accept that there should be proper bus stops. So when there were bus stops, like you said, Mike, they never acceded to anything. They did their own thing and running the red lights. For God's sake, man, you do it every single day, every single night. And people have been hurt in it before, and you need to stop. You need to show some more patronage to your customers and show some more respect for those persons who are on your bus, and especially the people who are walking.
Yeah.
You all drive like a bat out of hell, and you wouldn't stop. And the caliber of men that you have driving the bus too, okay? Their demeanor, the way they dress, the way they speak. You have to upgrade yourself to get an upgrade for the 25 cents that you probably want. I agree with you need an increase. Yeah. I accept that. But you got to give the public something back in return, eh?
Yeah. Have respect for people's safety. Have respect for the kids that you have that you're carrying on the bus daily. I mean, this is all a part of what we're putting into the minds of our young kids that they're picking up from whatever school it may be. Yes. You know, they're putting them on these buses, and then some are being brainwashed by, taking around for drives, all day. Some school kids just jump on the bus and they just go ride all day. Whether it be male or female, but at the end of the day, they're brainwashing them. You might as well just go drop them off somewhere into some gangs. Yeah, but this is where, if you have respect for those persons and for their safety and things, that when you put them on your bus, then people might get behind you and say, hey, give you a $2.50. I don't mind paying $2.50 right up here.
So the union needs to obviously overhaul itself. It needs to do its own self audit. Exactly.
I would pay $3 to go around this town. If I could do a full, to go from here to Cable Beach for $3, I'll pay it. Once I feel safe, I'll jump on a bus and it's secure.
You're not going to hear the profanity. You're not going to hear them fighting each other with damn cutlass.
Remember the shooting between the two bus drivers? I tell you.
Just a couple of weeks ago, I think there was a lady was trying to separate two. Stop, you all, please, and one from the trying with a cutlass. It's ridiculous.
Disgraceful, man. But I don't understand. The government has to play a role. Those bus drivers who have been doing that for so long, they got to be replaced.
Or franchises.
Happens to them.
Take the franchise.
They got to be replaced. Take the franchise and give it to someone else.
You want to continue to hire?
I've never seen that happen.
If you want to continue to hire misfits, then you should not be allowed to hold a license.
To operate.
It has nothing to do with politics. But I'm a FNM, I'm a PLP, and I think I'd get a bus driver.
Stop hiring misfits.
It is not right.
Gentlemen, I thank you both very, very much. Of course, at the top of tonight's show, Darren Turnquest live from Jamaica as he gave the Bahamian point of view and viewpoint of the Jamaican election happened today. Of course, the polls are closed now and they are now tallying the votes. And we will see exactly what the outcome is. I think, of course, in the last two segments, Leslie Miller, Michael Turnquest, thank you both as well. And I want to thank all of you for tuning in this evening. Certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.